One of the main stereotypes that I always have to deal with when I'm talking about the Israeli-Palestinian situation that I met when I first came back from my service in Ramallah in 1972 was an assumption that all Palestinians are terrorists. And that is certainly not how I experienced my Palestinian students, my Palestinian colleagues, my Palestinian neighbors. All the Palestinians I knew in the 2 years that I lived and taught there were the most hospitable, gentle, wonderful people. But in describing that to people back home, there would be this blank look on their faces, and that can't be true. And they would tick off PLO hijackings, they'd tick off terrorist attacks. They would always articulate Palestinians as terrorists. And what I found to be the most effective in talking with people about that misconception, that stereotype, was simply to tell stories about the people I knew and give them names. Palestinians are nameless, even today, when we look tragically at what's happening in Gaza, in the airstrikes, in the invasions. We don't get names. We get statistics, we get numbers, and don't even get faces. So much of what I found my task being, coming back, was giving names, giving faces, giving flesh and blood to these people. What I found, remarkably, was there were aha moments for people when they heard me describe my common experience with Palestinians. They go, wow, I never really thought of them in any other way than the stereotypical terrorist or violent fedayeen or guerrilla fighter. And that has guided me, through the years of recognizing that people have these stereotypes. And I think that's one of the major issues today, even in Israel and Palestine, especially with the construction of the separation barrier, apartheid wall, annexation fence, security barrier, whatever you want to call it. It adds another layer of stereotyping. Now there's a physical barrier, and along with the travel permits and restrictions and stereotypes, it creates not only a mental barrier, but a physical barrier that keeps people from knowing each other as human beings. And when that happens, these stereotypes build and build and build, and it makes people prey to then those who have an agenda of characterizing the other as so-and-so. People don't have the opportunity to break through those stereotypes now. And that's one of the reasons that my wife and I go over there with people, because we simply introduce them to people, and they can see and hear for themselves who these people are.